Before fame, before 1923, before the internet knew his name, Brandon Sklenar was just another struggling actor chasing a dream in silence. But now, he's one of the most talked about stars in Hollywood. And yet, no one really knows him. What's he hiding? What's the real story behind the breakout role, the rumors, the romance, and the mystery that's driving fans wild? Today we dive into everything you haven't heard, and what Brandon isn't saying might be the most powerful part of all: his rumored relationships pre-1923. Before Brandon Sklenar became a breakout star in 1923, his personal life flew almost entirely under the radar, but that didn't stop curious fans and early followers from speculating. Long before the fame, Sklenar was spotted at a handful of indie film events and art house screenings, often with the same unidentified woman by his side. The pair never posed for red carpet photos or posted together online, but subtle interactions in the background of social posts and fan sightings led to whispers of a quiet relationship, one that may have existed just outside the spotlight on his own terms. One of the most persistent rumors stemmed from his performance in a little-known indie film released before 1923, where his on-screen chemistry with a co-star was so intense that many viewers assumed sparks were flying off camera too. Though nothing was ever confirmed publicly, fans began connecting dots, analyzing interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and even body language during press rounds. Was it a real romance or just phenomenal acting? The lack of clarification only fueled the speculation, making this rumored relationship one of Sklenar's most intriguing pre-fame mysteries. Adding to the intrigue were a handful of cryptic social media posts Brandon shared in the years before he hit the mainstream. Though his current pages are tightly curated, early followers recall vague captions about heartbreak, photos of late-night city walks, and one now-deleted post featuring a woman's hand holding a coffee cup. No tags, no explanation. For fans, these tiny, easily overlooked details have become the breadcrumbs in an unsolved romantic puzzle. While Sklenar has chosen to keep that part of his life locked away, the internet has a long memory, and those early glimpses still fuel curiosity today. Did 1923 spark a real romance? From the moment 1923 hit screens, fans were captivated by the raw chemistry between Brandon Sklenar's Spencer Dutton and Julia Schlapfer's Alexandra. Their whirlwind romance across oceans and continents felt so natural, so charged, that it didn't take long for viewers to wonder, was that just acting or something more? Social media exploded with speculation, especially after behind-the-scenes photos and interviews surfaced showing the two laughing, touching, and sharing lingering glances off camera. It was the kind of subtle, unscripted connection that had fans convinced there had to be something real brewing behind the scenes. Adding fuel to the fire were the interviews both actors gave during the show's promotional run. Brandon and Julia often spoke about how deeply they trusted one another on set, how their connection was instant, and how they would frequently improvise emotional moments that weren't in the script. All signs of a rare on-screen partnership. Viewers and even entertainment outlets began speculating that this level of closeness didn't just develop for the cameras, especially when the two would appear arm in arm at press events, with a comfort and ease that felt deeply genuine. Some fans even began calling them spoolia, shipping them just as hard in real life as they did in the series. However, neither actor has ever confirmed a romantic relationship, and some suggest the chemistry was simply the mark of two professionals at the top of their game. Still, it's rare to see such intense emotional authenticity on screen without something real underneath, whether it's a fleeting romance, a deep friendship, or an unspoken connection that formed under the pressure of a massive production. Whatever the truth is, it's clear 1923 didn't just launch their careers, it launched one of the most talked about "are they or aren't they" dynamics in recent TV memory. Brandon Sklenar and Julia Schlapfer, the ship that launched 1,000 edits. When 1923 aired, it didn't take long for fans to become obsessed with the love story between Spencer Dutton and Alexandra. But beyond the scripted romance, a whole new phenomenon exploded online: the shipping of Brandon Sklenar and Julia Schlapfer in real life. Fans flooded TikTok and Instagram with edits pairing their most intimate moments on screen with off-screen behind-the-scenes clips, interviews, and red carpet appearances. Their chemistry was so undeniable that it blurred the line between fiction and reality, giving birth to one of the most viral fan-made couples in recent streaming history. What made this ship different was the genuine warmth and emotional connection Brandon and Julia seemed to share, even when the cameras weren't rolling. Interviews were dissected for meaningful glances, shared smiles, and subtle flirtation. Their body language at press events, the way they leaned into each other, the inside jokes, all became evidence in the eyes of fans that something real was there. It wasn't just about a steamy romance on TV. It was about the idea that this perfect love story might have extended into the real world. And in the age of parasocial fandoms, that's internet gold. The fandom didn't stop with speculation, it got creative. Thousands of video edits were made, blending scenes from 1923 with romantic music, layered voiceovers, and quotes from interviews. Fan art, ship names, Spulia became a favorite, and entire Twitter threads tracked their every interaction. Even though neither Brandon nor Julia ever confirmed a real-life romance, they became the subject of one of the most passionate and persistent shipping cultures in recent TV fandom. It's a testament not only to their acting, but to their magnetic presence as a duo whether friends or something more, helped fuel the cultural fire behind 1923. The power of mystery, why Brandon's silence works. In an age where celebrities live-stream every meal and relationships become clickbait, Brandon Sklenar's silence stands out like a whisper in a stadium. While many rising stars rush to build online personas, Brandon has taken the opposite route, cultivating mystique instead of visibility. His limited social media presence, rare interviews, and refusal to comment on his love life have only intensified fan curiosity. Instead of dulling interest, his quiet approach adds intrigue. It turns his story into a puzzle, and fans love puzzles. People aren't just following him, they're decoding him. This silence, intentional or not, gives Brandon a rare power in Hollywood: control. Without the noise of overexposure, every appearance, interview, or quote from him feels valuable, like a rare gem. The mystery around his personal life allows audiences to project their own fascination onto him, whether they see him as the tortured romantic from 1923 or the confident star of a new action thriller. While other actors risk burnout from constant sharing, Brandon's discretion protects both his privacy and his brand. In a way, the less he says, the more people listen when he finally does speak. And let's be honest, mystery is magnetic. There's something timeless about an actor who lets the work speak louder than the tabloids. Think about the legends of old Hollywood, the stars who lived behind the screen instead of on our phones. Brandon Sklenar channels that energy. By keeping fans guessing, he turns even the smallest public moment, a red carpet look, a vague interview answer, into headline fodder. It's not just smart PR, it's rare, refreshing, and wildly effective in a world that often overshares. Silence for Brandon isn't absence, it's a lure. Does Brandon want a Hollywood romance or a quiet life? Brandon Sklenar's rise to fame has all the makings of a Hollywood fairy tale, a breakout role, a growing fan base, and undeniable on-screen chemistry that's launched countless rumors. But when it comes to his personal life, Sklenar seems to be writing a very different script. Unlike many rising stars who embrace the glamour of celebrity couples and public red carpet romances, Brandon keeps a low profile, rarely addressing his love life. That silence has sparked a bigger question. Is he avoiding the Hollywood dating scene altogether in favor of something simpler, more grounded? For someone with Brandon's growing influence, it would be easy, even expected, to link up with another actor, appear in matching magazine spreads, and ride the publicity wave. But he hasn't. In fact, the actor seems more drawn to privacy than spectacle, focusing on his work and choosing projects with emotional depth and character complexity. Some speculate he's actively avoiding the pitfalls of a high-profile romance, perhaps aware of how quickly public relationships can overshadow an artist's actual craft. And if the past is any clue, Brandon may be more interested in lasting connection than flashy headlines. Still, the allure of a Hollywood love story, especially for someone as charismatic as Brandon, is hard to resist, and fans continue to root for him to find his real-life Alexandra. Whether he eventually chooses to go public with a partner or keep that part of his life completely private, one thing is clear. Brandon Sklenar is navigating fame on his own terms. In a world obsessed with oversharing, that kind of restraint speaks volumes and may just be the key to his long-term success, both in Hollywood and in love. Brandon Sklenar didn't just land a breakout role, he built a legend in silence. While other stars chase fame, he's quietly creating something deeper. Maybe it's a love story, maybe it's just the beginning. But one thing's for sure, there's more to this man than meets the screen. If you think the story ends here, think again. Hit subscribe because the next chapter, you won't want to miss it.